Hi there, I'm Jason Klom, I'm the host of the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. All of 2017, I'm listening to a comedy album a day, and you can watch this full video at youtube.com/comedyonvinyl, where you can also subscribe. So I decided to pick some lighthearted stuff that I also knew I would enjoy tonight. So I'm going to be doing these one album at a time here because I'm kind of listening to them one at a time. And I'd rather talk to them as I remember them. Now, the album I picked is 1967 Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour album. These, in terms of comedy artists, I think these the only guys that I'm an actual completionist about in terms of actually having completed my collection. There are a lot of artists I'd like to own more or buy, but these guys I've had their full collection for a very long time. And this one was intriguing to me, and I realized tonight I'd never heard it before. It's intriguing to me because I love the show and I want to see what's on here. I'm realizing I've heard or seen most of these in one way or another back in the days of MP3s when I was, getting my comedy content in ways that you shouldn't be getting it. I heard a lot of these. That said, these are actually better quality than some of the MP3s. The mind-blowing thing to me about this, or maybe the more upsetting thing, is the theme song's not on here. And I really, really love the Smothers Brothers theme song. Now, I know it's irrelevant to their work, to their actual comedy, but it's relevant to the show, and I'm quite shocked. I mean, this is their last regular release. This is their last release, unless you count Sibling Revelry, that was a CD release that I think was maybe Rhino. I don't really care, but it was a compilation years later. This is great. This is so much fun. I mean, there's bits that I'm so familiar with that I really assumed were on other albums, and I'm completely wrong about. Like the Troubadour song, You Didn't Come In, which is a bit where Tommy's being chided for not coming in on the song in time. And it starts out with a political bit. It's a very simple, it's a very kind of old-timey Abbott and Costello joke about the people who wear less clothes and the people who wear more clothes. And the people with more clothes are the politicians. And then the punchline is not mine to deliver. But there's some good jokes about President Johnson that some of these I think I might have even seen on Smothered, which is a really great documentary about the Smothers Brothers and their censorship battle with CBS. It's so good. And actually, that's what I was thinking about so much while listening to this. I'm trying to see. I feel like I've heard most of these before, but it's a great compilation, and it is a gatefold. It's got some nice art in there, including you can join the Smothers Brothers fan club if you want. So there's all the information there, which I'm going to go ahead and assume probably not still working, since you can communicate with them online, sort of. This is just a really fun album, and it makes me sad that they ended in 67. They stopped making albums in 67. The show went for 2 more years, but they became a liability at some point, and they probably would have. I don't know. I venture to say that the material that would have been on any albums coming out after this at some point would have gotten angry. It would have been like listening to Lenny Bruce's evolution to at some point reading court transcripts. Although actually that would be interesting. It's an idea. I feel like it could still happen. The manner in which they're doing lighthearted jokes about a shitty administration. A lot of these I've covered are Nixon's administration, but Johnson's was no stranger to controversy and bad management. They're perfectly suited to today's world. I mean, if you like your John Olivers, you like your Daily Shows, they often seem more sophisticated, but they're making the same exact observations. They're not doing it as Abbott and Costello as these two guys, but they had a style, and that was part of their charm. And that's how they got you to listen to their political satire at all. I mean, they were doing it all the time. They were making very silly, sometimes even filthy jokes underneath the radar. And because they're under the radar, it doesn't matter how filthy they are. I mean, not even to me. And sometimes I can be, annoyed if something's crass. They're never crass. I don't know. There's something really beautiful about it. But sad, again, that this is their last album. I was fortunate to see them live, and I will point out that they were still relevant, making really solid George W. Bush jokes at the time. This was probably 2004, 2005. This is toward the end of them performing live, and still relevant, even with the Yo-Yo Man stuff in it. Still really, really funny. Still really put together. So I guess I'm lucky I got to see that, but it'd be nice if they had a few albums in between. Well, that's about it. This is a really fun album, and I'm sure you can pick it up cheap. Smothers Brothers didn't release every album on CD. I don't know if this one was ever released on CD or not, but it's a ton of fun. That's about it. Follow us, please, at Comedy on Vinyl, wherever you can. Subscribe on iTunes. Rate us highly. Give us a nice review. Subscribe here on YouTube. And that's about it. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching. And as always, have a good thing.